just trying to be the voice for the people that may not feel whatever it is enough to speak out about how they actually feel. Because I know that was the one thing I'm like, I know I can't be the only one in this space, whether it's a mom or not. Life is hard. I can't be the only one that needs to take a second throughout the day, breathe, stop, and just be with themselves. So.
Welcome to Shaping Freedom with Lisanne Basquiat, the podcast where we help you unlock your potential and redefine what it means to be free. I'm your host, Lisanne Basquiat. I'm a former corporate executive, a life strategist, and the founder of Shaping Freedom. With a background spanning corporate, artistic, and personal development, I bring a unique perspective to empowering others. Listen in to discover inspiring stories and practical insights that will help you reclaim your life and rewrite your narrative. My intention is for you to gain the tools and motivation to be free in your relationships, your communities, and within yourself. This, my friends, is Shaping Freedom. Welcome to Shaping Freedom. This is your host, Lisanne Basquiat. This is part 2 of our special series with the founders of Be Greater Than, a lifestyle and wellness brand, created it for people to liberate themselves from self-imposed limitations. Be sure to listen to part 1 if you haven't already. Jasmine Harper is the third founder of Be Greater Than. She's also a recent mom. In today's episode, Jasmine and I have a heartfelt and candid chat about the delicate balance between showing up for yourself and who you are and moving into a new role as a mom without burning yourself out. Here's my conversation with Jasmine. All right. So welcome to the Shaping Freedom with Lisanne Basquiat podcast. I am excited to be getting ready to have a conversation with the amazing Jasmine Harper, who is part of the Be Greater Than team that we had a conversation with a few weeks ago. And so at the time, Jasmine wasn't available for that conversation. And so we decided that this conversation can only be complete with ensuring that we have the opportunity to speak with all three. So what's coming up now is my conversation with Jasmine Harper. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and the rest of Be Greater Than. We're so appreciative of this platform that you're allowing us to share our stories on. So thank you. I'm excited to be here as well and speak with you. And yeah.
I've been really looking forward to this conversation since we spoke months ago now at this point about Be Greater Than. And what I'd love let's just start with this, right? Because there were 3 of you founders. And so I'm sure that you all have a slightly different way of describing what Be Greater Than is about. And so if you don't mind, like, what is Be Greater Than and who are you in the family of Be Greater Than?
So Be Greater Than is this, in a nutshell, it's many things, but a whole idea or this idea of creating a space where we like to allow people to pour into themselves, and not just allow them to pour into themselves, but let them know that it's imperative to pour into themselves. So my role in all of this, this sounds crazy, but I woke up out of my sleep. I was in a space in my life. I just had my little girl, and I found myself constantly pouring from an empty cup. Every single day I would get up, and I would just cater to her from the second I wake up. And obviously that's what new parents do. But I came to a point where I was, from the second I woke up to the second I went to sleep, pouring into her. And I realized that I needed to set some time aside throughout my day to pour into myself. And that was the only way I would be able to make it through this time that I was in. And so I woke up and I was like, how can I take my past experiences, which is dance, and that's what I love to do. That is my career. How can I take dance and bring some people along on this journey with me of wellness and pouring into myself and becoming more and greater than, and all of these things. So it started as something that I wanted to do that was more dance based. But then I brought the idea to Randy and Ashley, and we had so many amazing conversations, and it snowballed into what it is today. And it is just this hub of, and forum of all things wellness. So we invite people to come out and celebrate themselves, pour into themselves, and know that this is a lifestyle. It's not just something that you do here and there. This is something that you should be doing every day, and it's okay to pour into yourself every single day. That's, to me, the only way I've been able to make it through this time as a new parent. So
Yeah. So let's set the stage here, Jasmine. How old is your little girl now?
she's 2 years old.
Okay.
So yes, 2.5 years old. She'll be 3 in March of next year. So yeah, that first, I mean, it still is very tough, but that first year and a half before um, we actually birthed Be Greater Than, it was just hard. I was by myself changing diapers and milk and, um, just becoming this new mom. There's no handbook on how to become a mom, but I know that I have to be there for this child that I just birthed. And it can be very taxing and very strenuous on the body, the mind, and everything. And so that was my path that I was on. But then when you share it with people that you're aligned with, you realize, okay, they might not be new parents, but they're still on this journey of wellness and wanting to become better than they are today. So we were all very aligned in the vision that we had with Be Greater Than.
What's interesting is you said, and just for the audience, the reason that I wanted to what's interesting about this portion of this conversation with the Be Greater Than founding team or a group of founders is that each one of you, like you mentioned, are doing something different. You're at a different chapter of your lives. And with you in particular, and especially since the work that we do through Shaping Freedom, it's all about wellness and taking care of yourself and self-care as a part of your life, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. The other part of that is the familial legacy part that gets to the topic of parenting. And so that was something that, even in those initial conversations, when I heard where you are in your journey of your life and the chapter of new motherhood that you're in, I was like, I have to talk to, I really want to have a conversation with this woman and with this new mama to talk about what that part of your journey is like. And so we were committed to making sure that this conversation that you and I are having and getting ready to have actually came to fruition, because it's such an important conversation, because parenting is shocking.
It is. It's a shock to your body. You have this
Yeah,
whole life that you're used to for however long, and then all of a sudden, overnight, things just change, and
yeah,
you are completely committed to raising this child that you just gave birth to and you love, but maybe, you don't know all of the right things that you're supposed to be doing. You just have to figure it out along the way. And I feel that a lot of the time when doing that, we can put ourselves on the back burner, when really I think that it needs to be reversed. We need to make sure we're good in order to make sure that our child is good. And that's what I found through this journey so far. I have to be
absolutely.
okay, and
You
then I know
do.
he's good.
Yeah. And you have to breathe. And you have to
Yes.
breathe. And you have to
Yeah.
breathe many times throughout. Consciously breathe. Obviously, you're
Oh
breathing
yeah.
every day, but consciously breathe
Hmm.
every day,
Hmm.
and also taking a moment to pause throughout the day, because
Hmm.
you're going from, you have all these different hats that you're wearing as an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, as a dancer, as a creative, as a mom, and as whatever relationships you have within your family, and those are very different and sometimes disparate roles that we have. And I'm saying this as someone who very often goes from, you know, doing the meetings about this thing and then going on to talk about, Hera Hub Carlsbad or talking about Shaping Freedom. And then my granddaughter comes over and I slip into, my role as grandmother or role as mother, to my children. And it's a lot. And I think that
Mhm.
in many cultures and in our culture specifically, and by our culture, I mean the culture of people of color, we treat self care beyond the basics, being clean, getting our hair done, brushing our
Mhm.
teeth, sleeping and all that. We treat it as a luxury when in fact it is such an important part of our being.
Yeah, I think one of the most important parts now that I'm actively like consciously pouring into myself when I can't think back before this time, before having her, that I did this. It was go, go, go. It was this performance, that performance, what's next, this rehearsal, this 12-hour rehearsal. It was always go, go, go. I never put myself first. And for the first time in my life, I'm able to do that, and it's because of her. I wouldn't have stopped and realized the importance of putting myself first and pouring into myself and practicing wellness as a lifestyle as opposed to a luxury, if it had not been for becoming a mom. So that is one of the really beautiful things that came from being a mom, outside of having my little one. So
It's interesting you said, you mentioned birthing in two ways. One is obviously the birth, having birthed your daughter. And then you mentioned Be Greater Than as a business that you have also birthed. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that because creative energy, which is the energy that it takes, creator energy, the energy to create something, it's the energy that it takes for us to be able to bring a child onto this plane. And it's the same energy that it takes to create a dance routine or to create a business. It comes from an idea about something and then it comes in form, in some kind of a form. And a lot of times, what's different about creative energy, um, or the energy to create something, is that you're most of the time pushing something up a hill.
mhm.
It's new. You're accessing different parts of your being in order to do this thing, to bring this thing forward or this person forward. Um, and so the fact that you recognize that you birthed two things is, to me, sounds like a testament to your commitment to self-care, because you have to first acknowledge, that you're doing this in more than one way. You're creating yourself as a mother. You're creating yourself as a woman who has a child. You're creating yourself as an entrepreneur and everything that comes into that. From that perspective, if you don't mind, how would you describe, like, who is Jasmine? What's going on for Jasmine in Jasmine's world right now?
Um, okay, so there was something that I read literally today. I like to read these different motivational quotes every day just to get my day going and start my head off, with a positive mindset. So I want to share what I read today because I think it resonates with this, and because this is the space that I'm in,
Yeah.
and this is just a portion of it, but it says, "Don't stay stuck surviving because you constantly defer your happiness to when you get results or make it through a struggle. Thrive by deciding to find something or something to be satisfied with and grateful for while working and welcoming more blessings." So I feel like this is the space I'm in because I'm not choosing to just survive. So I found myself in this place. I think a lot of new parents can find themselves in a space where um, we lose self identity almost. It's like we were this person
We
before.
forget. We
Yes, we
forget who
forget
we
who we
are.
are. We
Yeah.
we have, even like sometimes you lose track of your self-worth because you're just up, and it feels like a hamster wheel every day doing the same thing over and over. So that can be hard, and a lot of people aren't able to pull themselves out of that, unfortunately. And it's not something we speak about enough. But I think that and I give this all to God. It's literally my faith because I don't know where my strength came from in this situation that I've been in. But I'm not choosing to just stay in that and sit in that, keep the blinds shut, sit down, keep the house a mess. I'm choosing to pull myself out of that, and I want people to be on this journey with me. So instead of, this has been something that I've been seeing a lot, instead of just surviving and choosing to be content with everything, I'm deciding to thrive. I'm deciding to see what all is out there for me with the Leilani in my life now, as opposed to, okay, I had her, I has to stop. And, I lose my self-worth. I lose who I am. No, I want to see what all is out there with this new life that I have, and welcome people and encourage people to be on that same path as well, especially new moms, because I know how easy it is to just get stuck in, just surviving and living a day to day and being content with that.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. To those who don't know, it's overwhelming. Yeah, it's like one day you are walking along doing your life, sleeping as late as you want, eating whenever you want,
Everything changes.
and you have a baby, you have this other human being that enters your world, and everything changes. And that's not to bring fear, because it is overstimulating and it is overwhelming, and it does have a huge impact on your life. It's more to share the reality of what it feels like for a person, for a human being, to now become a person who is responsible for another human being, or two or three, depending on what's going on, while also navigating the what that looks like with the other person that's involved in this process. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have all these different things that you have to be thinking about that are very different.
Do you know that we have a line of Shaping Freedom wellness products? Each are beautifully crafted and designed to support you in cherishing your mind, body, emotions, and soul. Carve out a sanctuary in your life with our Luxe sustainable yoga and meditation mats, essential oil candles, and more. Embrace self-care and reflection with every item, lovingly created to enhance your daily practice of spending time on you. Elevate your wellness journey with Shaping Sanctuary Collection, because you deserve to feel balanced, nurtured, and inspired. Visit shapingsanctuary.com for more information.
What have you learned about yourself?
I think I've learned, again, my faith is much stronger than ever before. And I've learned that through my faith, I am much stronger than I think. Anytime I hear a mom like struggling with anything, I tell them, like, you gave birth, you can do anything in this world. It is not easy to give birth to a child. That's
Just
the,
the physical part.
and mentally too, knowing that your body is capable of doing this one thing. There's nothing on this earth that should scare you. It's totally possible. So I think that's one thing that I've learned, that I'm just stronger, or I feel stronger than I've ever felt before. And also, I'm really proud of myself. I've never, no matter what dance jobs I've done in the past or anything that I've done, anyone I've worked with, I think this is the the proudest I've been of myself, because I choose to get up every day and sweep 5 times a day, even though, like earlier, I'm getting emotional, but I have to I have to do a lot every single day, as all moms do.
But you're not all moms. You're Jasmine.
Yeah,
And the
my
fact that
sister.
other women and other moms are doing the same thing doesn't matter in
Hmm.
the reality of your day-to-day experience.
Yeah,
You're going through a thing. You're going through
yeah.
a thing. And I
It's tough. Yeah,
it is. I
but
remember um, having my son. And I was young when I had my son. And I remember those days where I was just like, oh my goodness, like if I have to change another pamper, if I have to, you know, make another 15 meals a day, if I have to
Yeah,
clean
that
the
they don't
same
eat
spot.
that ends up on the ground, and
Exactly.
it's
Or
just
if
like,
something has spilled and you can't
yeah,
make any plans
yeah,
because,
it's a lot.
all your plans are up to whatever,
Hmm.
somebody spilling some cereal on the floor or whatever. But go ahead.
So I was gonna say, just like earlier, I was sweeping for a probably the fifth time today, and it's only midday. And I've really been trying to change the way that I look at things, or I view things consciously. So I was sweeping, and of course, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's always a mess in here. But then I said, I'm just grateful that I have a house to sweep. I'm grateful that she's able to be active and able to make a mess, because there's some kids that just sit on their iPad all day. She's active, she's up and she's playing, she's enjoying herself, she's exploring. This world is new to her. So that's maybe the biggest thing that I've learned, is just shifting my perspective on being grateful in finding the beauty in the struggle, as opposed to just complaining. And because it's easy to do, especially if you're doing things all by yourself. I can point fingers and say, if it was like this,
Hmm.
it would be easier. But no, I'm just pulling my pants up and I'm going to sweep no matter how many times, because I like my environment to be clean. So if that's what it takes 10 times a day, I will do that. I'm thankful that I have a house to even sweep. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've had to change my perspective a lot. And I think that's a big thing that I've learned.
Yeah, reframing things does help. And I think also, if I can share, um this period doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
When you're in it, it's like, if you think about, I don't know, learning a dance routine or something that you were working on and you're like, oh my goodness, this is gonna, it does not last forever. But while you're in it, sometimes it's really hard, especially if it's the first time. It's really hard to see the end of the rainbow because you're in it. You're sweeping the floor, you're wiping the mouth, you're cleaning the butt, you're, repeating yourself a gazillion times a day.
Hmm.
You're learning how to interact with this little being and how to communicate and how to be a mom and all that great stuff. But it doesn't last forever. But the 2.5 mark, girl,
Yeah, that's and
okay,
we're
it is
trying to potty
something.
train, so it's like puddles all day. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's tough, but
I know. And when they're laying there, you think, oh, okay, all right, I got this. Like, right, they're on a schedule and they're laying down, and you're like, I can't wait for this child to start walking. And then the child starts walking, and you're like, oh my goodness, I got to chase you around.
yeah,
What is this about?
oh yeah, it's a lot, but it's beautiful also, and
Yeah.
it's something that it changes your perspective on life. I see everyone as this little child now, like I look at everyone and I see the child in them. And it's okay if you make a mistake, because we're all learning. We're all trying to just figure this thing called life out. I don't have all the answers. Our parents don't have all the answers. And so I think from having her, I've gained a lot of grace as well with human beings in general. And so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I'd love to know a little bit more, obviously, whatever you're comfortable sharing. Like, what is your road? What has been your road to here? So you made a decision to become a dancer.
Hmm.
Who is Jasmine Harper?
Well, that question is always tough for me to answer. I'm crying again. I'm sorry. Dance means so much to me. I've been dancing since I was 3, and she's gonna start dance tomorrow, so I'm super excited.
What? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's 2, but she's gonna go with the 3 and 4 year olds. So
Hmm.
I'm super excited for her to start. Um, but yeah, dance means so much to me. So it's been really challenging to in a way end my dance career, or transition from my dance career into motherhood, especially because I don't have um I have support, but not support where I'm able to say, let me go on this tour, or let me do this 12-hour rehearsal, or whatever it is. So I have not been able to dance as much as I want to. And even throughout the day, like someone may be listening to this and just say like, oh, turn on some music and dance. It's not like that throughout the
It's
day.
not the same.
no, I can't do that. And at the end of each day, I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep. Um, so I've had this beautiful dance career that um, you know, when I graduated high school, I could have never thought of the career that I was going to have. So I'm super grateful for everything that I was able to do in my dance career for a good 10 years. And and I don't think that it's over. I just think that I'm transitioning into a new role, which is still tough for me. I still love to dance. I still want to be out there on stage performing, but I'm each day just trying to accept the fact that maybe God wants to use me in another way now. You know, I was able to create this platform for myself, which has been amazing, and now I can use that to inspire other people, or you know, what be greater than is. And that's for each of us. I think that's the beautiful thing about each of our journey. We all come from different walks of life, and we were able to do so much in our careers. And so to now pour into other people after all of this is really rewarding in a way. It's tough. It's definitely tough to just, in a way, it's cold turkey because, you know, you hit 9 months. I still was able to sleep by myself. I still was able to shower by myself, even while pregnant. After she's out, that is all over. So in a way, it's like overnight. But yeah, I love dance so much. I always will, and I'm just super blessed for the career that I was able to have. So yeah, and tomorrow she starts her journey. So this is it's beautiful. I'm super excited for her to see where she goes with it if she wants to. But I know how much the studio meant to me when I was younger. It was my safe place and a place where I could express myself freely. So I'm excited for her to have that as well.
And it's also great for her to get out and be around other children and other people because that kind of helps in a way to help your journey, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you know, and then she'll be tired also. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I take school. We go to the park. The
Yeah.
one thing, this is kind of, it doesn't have anything to do with anything, but the YMCA has been very helpful in my, at least this past year. Like, it's great, the things that they have off, or the things that they offer for parents. They have parents morning out, so you can leave the child there for like 4 hours. I every day go to work out for 2 hours. I have to stay there, but that is my me time. 2 hours out of every single day is the amount of time that I have for myself. And to some, you know, that's not a lot, but I really cherish that time because that's my only time where it's quiet in my mind and that I'm able to do something for me. And I think, you know, a lot of the classes are all of these like, they're much older than me. I'm probably the youngest person in there. And it's kind of uh easy, I guess you would say, but it's the closest thing I have to dance. So I'm still trying to, again, pour into me any way that I can and be fulfilled through movement. Um, yeah, so that's the way that I'm able to do that.
And a big shout out to the Y. I have to say, as a kid, I grew up in Brooklyn, and my sister Janine and I we lived very close to the YWCA, and they had at the time a Saturday fun day program, and we would go every Saturday. And so, big shout out um,
Yeah.
to the Y for decades and decades and decades providing support to individuals on all different levels from physical providing the ability to do physical activity to what they do for the community to what they do for young people in the areas. It is an amazing organization, so big shout out to the Y.
Yeah, would love to work with them one day because I didn't realize it. I guess a lot of things in life you don't realize until you have a child and you need to find these resources. You know, I never, as a dancer, I don't need to go to the Y. I'm getting my workout at dance. But now I'm just so grateful for everything they have to offer. So yeah, they're definitely like a saving grace as far as my mental goes.
So I have a question. Let's kind of pull out of what's today, August 7th, 2024, and let's fast forward 10 years for a minute. Okay. So in 10 years, whatever age you're going to be, And your Leilani, is that her name? Leilani?
Leilani, yeah.
Leilani will be 12 or almost 13,
Mm-hmm. Oh
right?
my goodness.
Yeah, it'll happen. So, what do you want for Jasmine Harper
Hmm.
uh, over the next decade? And what do you want from Jasmine Harper?
For myself, I would like to be at peace and um, financially stable, I would say. I think that's something that is, for in my situation, at least when I have a career that's so physically demanding and I am not able to continue doing that, it becomes a bit tough when I'm not able to, work as much as I was able to before I had her. So peace, happiness, financially stable. I would love a home, a home that she's able to grow up in and say that she lives here. I want a dance studio also. That's because the dance studio again was my safe place growing up. So I would love to give that to children as they're growing up. And then from me, um, I just I don't. What do I want from myself in 10 years? I want my heart to remain the same and my heart to remain open and not let any of the things that I've had to go through change the way I love, change the way I want to give, change the what we want for be greater than. Yeah, so I'm open to all good things. I just want to be in a good place, a good space mentally, physically, and all of that. And of course, I want Leilani to be good as well. But yeah,
What do you want for Leilani over the next decade?
I want her to know that she is able to accomplish anything that she puts her mind to. I want her to know that she is beautiful, that she is powerful and capable of all things, um, and that it's okay to ask for help if she needs help. A lot of the times, I think in this life, we feel that we have to do everything on our own, and I don't think anybody should have to do everything on their own because life is too tough to do that. So I want her to know that if no one else in the world is there for her, I will be there for her in any way that I can. So I just want to make sure I'm in a position to be her safety net if she needs that. So yeah.
And what do you want from her?
Nothing. I don't want anything from her. I just want her to be happy. I think happiness is a lost art in this world, like a lot of people aren't happy, and I think it's so important to be peaceful and happy and content with the things that you have around you and not always searching for more. So I just want her to be happy throughout her life.
HaraHub Carlsbad is a co-working space and member community designed to empower entrepreneurs. More than just a workspace, HaraHub Carlsbad is a business accelerator and a connected network of successful entrepreneurs. Imagine a collaborative, serene, and spa-inspired environment where you can thrive. Our unique community allows each member to be both a guide and a student, fostering leadership and continuous growth for both you and your business. Experience an uplifting, supportive atmosphere that will elevate your entrepreneurial journey. For more information about HaraHub Carlsbad or to schedule a tour, visit harahub.com/Carlsbad. We also have locations in Temecula, Irvine, Washington, D.C., and HaraHub Carlsbad is one of 3 HaraHub locations in San Diego, the others being in Mission Valley and La Jolla.
So I know we've talked about building Be Greater Than, and we've talked about you kind of being in the midst of a transformation.
Mhm.
Transformation meaning you're not just going from one hallway down to the next, but you're bringing some things forward with you. You're growing into something different than what you were before. Um, let's talk a bit about your desires for be greater than. Maybe we pose the same question that we just asked to that, like what is be greater than for you?
I think all of the things that I want for myself, I want people to see in themselves as well. Because again, I see everyone as these little babies. I mean, not, actually babies, but I see that we all started not knowing how to walk. We all started um, uh, screaming out of frustration because we're not able to throw the ball correctly, or, all of these things. We all started from the same place. So I know how tough life is. I just want everyone to be content and okay with themselves, even if it's just for a day, even if they come to the Be Greater Than event and for though that 8 hours or however long, they can get lost in pouring into themselves and real understanding how important it is to do so. Um, so everything I want for myself as far as being content, being happy, being physically, spiritually, and even financially in a good space. I want that for every single person that comes to a Be Greater Than event, that comes across the page of Be Greater Than, in any way that we can. I just want to be able to impact someone, even if, even one person, which I believe that we've done in this past year. So,
Yeah, I think you've definitely done that. I was at your event last month. I think it was. This year's going so quickly, and the energy around what you're doing and the impact was palpable. I mean, it's really a beautiful thing that you all are doing, and it's really a beautiful thing that you're able to tap into supporting creatives, because I think that those who are creatives and those who are in the public eye oftentimes get um, marginalized in a way from compassion, because it's like, oh, they're doing these amazing things. They don't need anything. And I think that sometimes the folks who are in those roles feel the same way about themselves. And so the fact that you all have been able to tap into this very deep need for people to pay attention
mhm.
to how they're showing up and how they're caring for themselves as they're creating, I think is a beautiful thing and so helpful to that community of people.
Yeah, just trying to be the voice for the people that may not feel whatever it is enough to speak out about how they actually feel, because I know that was the one thing. I'm like, I know I can't be the only one in this space, whether it's a mom or not. Life is hard. I can't be the only one that needs to take a second throughout the day, breathe, stop, and just be with themselves. So yeah, I'm really excited about the future of Be Greater Than. I think the sky is the limit. There's so many opportunities that have come to us and that we've created for other wellness brands as well. And it's all been just really aligned throughout. And it's only been a year. So much has happened in this
In
year.
1 year, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes. So it's just super excited. And I can't wait to look back in 10 years and say, this is where we started. This is why we started, and see where we are. So,
And you will. And that's, I
yeah.
think, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you in this moment of like, motherhood and all the things and overwhelm,
Mhm.
it passes, and you will have the opportunity and you will look back and you will see the journey that you yourself was on and the journey that your daughter was on, and everything that you were able to accomplish. So I have a question for you, Jasmine, about single parenthood. And so I know you spoke a bit about what it's like to be a mom to a young child and a parent to a young child, a very young child, and doing that and kind of the enormity of that role. and what it takes from a mental, emotional, physical, and sometimes spiritual perspective
Mm-hmm.
to do that and to show up for another human being in that way. Um, I also get the impression that you are single in doing this. Is there anything that you'd be willing to share that might help another person who is at some place on this journey that you're on? And I'm asking you with complete and total respect for your privacy and for whatever's happening, and really asking because so often we get into situations where we can sometimes feel isolated
Mm-hmm.
and feel like we're the only one going through something. And I think it's really important that we move away from the like, I'm going to pull myself up and just make it happen, because we're real human beings going through these things. So I'm just wondering if there is something that you'd be open to sharing to help someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I think before I had Leilani, I still am very independent, but I was independent in a way I didn't want to ask for anything, any help or anything at all. Since having her, I found the importance in asking for help and leaning into anyone that's willing to help. Obviously, not leaving your child with anyone, but anyone that you trust that is willing to help you so you can have a second. Allow that help into your life, welcome that help, even writing it down. I've been writing since she was born, writing down everything that I feel that I need, whether it's support, whether it's finances, whether it's a break, and all of those things, whether it's manifestation, prayer, whatever you resonate with, write it down, be intentional about what you need in your life in this moment, and don't block your blessing when that happens. So allow people to help you, allow opportunities to come into your life. And I think, again, going back to pouring into yourself, that was my realization of, I'm doing all of this by myself. It's very tough. Every single day is hard. I need to save myself so I can be there for her. I have to save myself. So I say stay encouraged, keep your faith strong. And like you said, I know this was something I used to tell myself through all of the long nights of no sleep. This will not last forever.
This too shall pass.
Yes, this too shall pass. She's not going to be 10 years old, needing me to wake up in the middle of the night and feed her and change her diaper and all of that. Take a deep breath in those moments and say, this is just happening right now. It's a moment in time, and know that it will get better. And I think that's been my biggest thing, just keeping my head up and looking towards my faith, knowing that everything will get better. It's very tough to do everything on your own, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible, and it can be done. So.
And it's not a lifelong thing. It's what's going on right now. And I think the one thing about parenting that is not often realized is there's kind of this ideal that, there are just two parents and they get in and there's like, two dogs and a fence and two kids and all that. And sometimes that's not what it is. It's something different. And that's okay that it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's important is recognizing, as part of our self-care, recognizing that we are on this new journey, learning how to be a parent while also navigating a relationship. Whether the relationship is fantastic or not, it doesn't matter. It's still requiring some mental, emotional, and physical and spiritual energy to to be on a journey where it doesn't just involve you and your child, it's you, the person who was involved in the process, and the child. And I think sometimes we forget that you're kind of processing two different changes at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important to remember that and to have grace for yourself as you're doing that.
And acknowledging if you need help, and that's okay too, because I think a conversation that is not spoken about enough is postpartum. Healthy babies have 10 million checkups after they're born, which is, reasonably or rightfully so. But the mom is the one that is going through so many changes mentally and physically. postpartum depression is a real thing that is not spoke about enough. And so if you feel that you feel yourself slipping, or you're not opening those blinds every single day for whatever reason, get some help. It's okay. Because again, the only way that the baby is going to be okay is if you're okay. So I think it's super important to know when, okay, I'm not myself. I'm not in the best place mentally, physically, whatever it is. Let me reach out and see how I can get myself some help so that I can be the best version of me for my new baby.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, it's important, and I know for myself, I've had such a journey to learning how to ask for help, or being more comfortable asking for help,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing and recognizing that asking for help is nothing negative about
It's a
me.
sign of strength,
It's a
acknowledging that
sign of
I
strength
need some
versus
help. Yeah.
yeah, like sitting and just struggling and
Mm-hmm.
suffering for the sake of suffering. There are no brownie points in heaven, I do not believe,
Mm-hmm.
for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We're here as the collective human, group,
Mm-hmm.
and part of that is asking for help.
Yeah.
Jasmine, um, one question that I asked your other two partners was, how can we help you? And so these are all, this is a unique conversation we're having, because we've brought a lot of other things into it. So in whatever way, whatever hits your heart, as we're wrapping up, how can we help? How can you be helped?
I think for me, it's again just looking in the mirror and um, taking into account what this message of be greater than is. Really finding time throughout your day to give back to yourself. Um, that is how I think our message can be spread and put into action to our audience, is, just by implementing these things that we are trying to get across. Obviously we need support in this. It's a nonprofit, so we want to continue to put on these wellness events for people, so that they can have that moment on that one day of just pouring into them. So any type of support, whether it's following us on Instagram, showing up to the events, whatever it is, telling your friend about it, yeah, supporting us in that way. And I think, um, yeah, just knowing that it's okay. It's okay to pour into you, and yeah, for me, that's all I want from this. I don't know. Um, I welcome all the blessings and all of the support and everything that is physical, but I think for me, it's really just the message behind this, and really pushing that out to people and making sure that people are practicing that, because it's so important and so imperative as humans. So yeah, that's what it is for me.
Thank you, Jasmine. This has been an amazing conversation. Everything that I was looking forward to unpacking with you, and more. I will continue Shaping Freedom to be a friend to be greater than, because, we are aligned on the
Mhm.
same thing, which is
Mhm.
really helping people to live their lives in a more meaningful and filled up way.
Mhm.
And I continue to salute you all for being on that journey for yourselves and for your community.
Mhm.
And I'm really glad that we've had the opportunity to encounter each other. And I'm looking forward to what that means, whether it's personally or professionally, or whatever it is that we may be able to create in the future, to help other people, other human beings.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much.
Sending you lots of love, and girl, it doesn't last forever. I
Yeah,
promise you, before it's over, you and your baby will be, going to the grocery store together, and she'll be helping you out.
without the tantrum.
Or, yes, it will happen. I know right now it doesn't feel
Oh my
like it, but
gosh,
trust it,
the
it
grocery
definitely
stores.
It's a whole going to the grocery store will change. Uh, Going to the park will change. Getting up on a Saturday, it'll all be different. It's just, part of the process, I guess, the hazing process of becoming a parent is going through the toddler years. I wish you so much love and peace, the peace that you ask for, and hope that you would be willing to, in your writing and journaling, take a moment to envision for yourself and for your daughter what you'd like life to look like in 10 years, and really sit with that and meditate on it and pray on it and write down that vision for yourself and then put it away. Because that helps the universe and God to come together and create that on your behalf. So I'd like to leave that with you.
Thank you.
And and thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. It's such an insightful and emotional. I wasn't expecting to get so emotional, but I really needed this conversation. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the platform for my story as well as Be Greater Than as a whole. So thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Lisanne Basquiat. As a mother and grandmother, I enjoyed the opportunity to sit down and have this very candid and vulnerable conversation with Jasmine. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for being willing to share this part of your journey and to help someone else who may themselves be struggling with the transition into motherhood. I also want to thank the entire Be Greater Than team for showing up and sharing their journey and vision for the Be Greater Than brand. They are a team to watch for sure. Be sure to follow them. As always, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Be sure to like and share and subscribe. And I look forward to the next episode.